Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to another Heavy Gear Blitz Battle Report, where today the South will be taking on Peace River on this little mountain hill area. We'll be using some of the rules from the Wargaming Companion book, where today's game will be playing King of the Hill, where there will be fighting over this single objective on the hilltop, as you can see there. And with the weather terrain, or the weather rules as well, I rolled for thunderstorms, which will mean on the first turn, electronic warfare tests will be subtracted by 1. 1d6 that is, I believe. So, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the force. And here we have a Peace River force. This is 50 TV worth of points with 2 groups. We have our force leader, a skirmisher chieftain with the special forces upgrade. He has the light rifle, and then I've upgraded him with the advanced control systems, giving him 2 actions. And accompanying him we have a Vanguard warrior and a Scourge warrior. And then next up in the second group we have 2 Arbalest Mamelukes. They're heavy machine gun and rocket launchers. And then we have a two new units here. We have an Achilles anti-tank team squad and an Achilles sniper team squad. So see how they do today. It's going to be my first time running them. Hopefully they're bring something a little different to the game. And that is 50 TV of Peace River. On to the South. And here we have 50 TV of the South. Our group leader is the Command Fer de Lance. He has been upgraded with the advanced control systems, giving him 2 upgrades, or 2 actions. And he has the dual melee weapons. And he is a duelist. And then in his group we have a Brawler Jaeger and a Flame Jaeger. And then next up for the second group we have 2 field guns and then 2 Lizard Rider anti-tank teams. I like the idea of some artillery, so I brought the field guns. This will be my first time trying them out as well, so hopefully I enjoy that. And that is 50 TV of the South. So let's go ahead and deploy and begin the battle. Alright, and we have deployed for the South. I have a Fer de Lance, my Jaegers, and a field gun on the right flank. Another field gun on the left flank with the Lizard Riders. That blue die will mark the group leader for that unit. And then over here for Peace River, we have a Warrior Scourge on the left flank with the sniper team and a Mameluke. Skirmisher in the center area, and then the other Achilles infantry and Mameluke on the right flank. And that blue die once again representing the group leader. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started with initiative. Starting with... Alright, our initiative is both at a 5+. So, let's go ahead and roll. That's a 5-6 for me, and a 5 for her, with the South gaining the initiative on turn 1. Alright, so for my first activation, I activated the Fer de Lance, which went up the hill at top speed, getting behind the barricade. And then I'm going to focus and fire my rifle at that Mameluke right there. So this will give me 2 dice, losing one for going top speed and then gaining one back for the focus. And then she is going to react to that Mameluke by evading. So I have 3s for the gunnery skill, and then a piloting skill of
4.
4. All right. That's a 6 for me and a 5 for her. She may re-roll both dice. And she got the exact same roll. All right, margin of success of 2 with precise. And then damage 7, so 9 versus armor.
5 armor.
5 armor, okay. So you take 4 damage to that Mameluke,
Nice.
and that will cripple it, I believe.
Yes.
All right, moving on. All right, next up, I activated my Brawler Jaeger, which moved forward behind the building, from behind the building at top speed. And I'm going to fire my light autocannon into the Mameluke with burst 1, so I get my die back from going top speed. And then gunnery skill of 4 versus her crippled die of 4 as well. Oof. That is boxcars. That's a 6-7 versus 3, so it's a margin of success of 4 plus damage 6 for a total of 10 versus armor
5. So you did
5. So 5 damage. That will destroy that one. I think it would be a wreck. So that is our first kill of the game. All right.
Leave it on?
Nope, leave it there.
Okay.
All right, move on to my last Jaeger. Lastly, for my Flame Jaeger, I went top speed over here to the center of the hill, and I'm going to fire indirectly into the exoskeleton suit over here. So, let's see, I get plus D6 for shooting at infantry with the AI trait, but going top speed and shooting indirectly will counter that, so it's just 1d6 against her 4 for having cover as infantry. Needing 4 for me. And what is the piloting skill for you?
4.
4 as well, alright. It's a 5. And nothing. Oof.
Can I command you?
Yeah, you can.
Let's do that.
Spending a command point to try again. Getting a 5 as well. So that's margin success of 0. Do they have agile? I don't think they do.
No.
No? Alright. We fired, also I fired the anti-personnel rockets. So, that is margin success of 0 with a damage of 6. Armor?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay, you take 2 damage to that exoskeleton team. And then with that, we go to Peace River's activation. Alright, up first for Peace River. She activated her skirmisher, which moved forward over here at combat speed. And for her first action, she's going to attempt a forward observation on my Fer de Lance. So this will just be an independent roll of electronic warfare. She needs a 4+. Initially was a 3+, but because of the thunderstorms, it brings it to a 4. And she got none of them. Unless you want to spend a command point.
Yeah, why not?
Alright, spending her last command point of the round. And that'll do it. Okay, and then you're going to react with your exoskeleton team for the fire mission.
Okay.
Alright. Alrighty, fire mission from the exoskeleton infantry squad with the AVM. Firing indirectly into the Fer de Lance. So she had plus 2d6 for the guided and the the fire mission, at which point she then lost 2 for being indirect and being out of optimal range, for a total of 2 dice. And then I got 3 dice for cover. I need 3s to her 4s. So it's a 6-7 for me and a 5-6 for you. Will miss. Yep. Alright, that misses. And then we'll move on to the skirmisher's next activation. Next up, she's going to do an ECM jam on the Ferdy Lance as well. Realizing she probably should have done that first after the fact, but oh well. So then we both get an extra die for ECCM. Both needing 4s? No, I need 5s to her 4s. And that's a none for me and a 5 for you, so I am jammed. And then possibly take a point of damage. Let me double check here. On a 4. Go ahead and roll a die. Yep, I take a point of damage. Alright, moving on. Next up, her Vanguard Warrior comes out behind the rock at top speed and is going to fire with Burst into my Ferdy Lance as well. So this will be, I do have cover, so I get 2d6, down from 3 for being crippled or jammed. And then she's out of optimal range, but going with burst fire, so she's at 2d6 as well. I have a piloting skill of 3 to your 4s.
Yeah.
Alright. That's a 3 for me and a miss for you. Alright. Moving on. Lastly, for Peace River, the Warrior Scourge comes up from behind the building and is going to fire the light rocket pod directly into my Jaeger. So, 2d6 for both of us, needing 4s. It's a 4 for me, and a 2 and a 1 will miss for Peace River. And with that, we go back to the south. First up for the south, we're going to activate this field gun here. It's going to fire indirectly into this Mameluke over here with the AoE. And blast. So this will just be 1d6 for me, needing a 4, 3d6 for her, also needing 4s. And a 2 will miss. We'll go ahead and no, I'm not gonna spend a command point. So that'll miss. Alright, moving on. And then the secondary target being the Achilles. It's a 5 for me, and a 5-6 for her will miss as well. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, next up for the south, we're going to try that exact same thing again with this field gun instead. So, 3 dice for the Mamelukes, both of us needing 4s, and that's a definite miss. And then AoE on the secondary target. That's a 3, also a miss. We're going to spend a command point. No, miss. Alright, moving on. Next up, we activated the Lizard Riders, which moved forward at combat speed and is going to fire the AVM directly into the Vanguard. So this will be 2 dice 4s for me, 2 dice for her as well, also needing 4s. And that's a 2 and a 1, which will definitely miss. Alright, on to my last activation. Alright, moving up the other Lizard Rider team, and I'm going to shoot at the same target at that Vanguard, needing 4s again with the AVM, and that is a 6 for me and a 6-7 for Peace River, missing that shot. Alright, on to Peace River's activation. Alright, first up for Peace River, she's activating the Mamaluke, which moved forward at combat speed up to the barricades and is going to fire the light rocket pod into my Lizard Rider team here with AoE 3 hitting this target as well. So, primary target first, both needing force. It's a 6 for me and a 6/7 for her with a margin of success of 1. Damage.
7.
So total 8 versus armor of 3.
Ooh.
Ouch. So 4 damage goes through. And then, alright. That one is crippled. And then next up for the primary target, or secondary target. So this would be just 1 died now. It's a 5 for me and a 6 for you. Margin success of 1 again. Which was the same thing, wasn't it? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna spend my last command point for that. 6. You rolled a 6 as well.
AP1.
AP1, okay. It's a margin success of 0, so it still hits, I think. Let me see if I have Agile. I do have Agile, so that will miss. Alright, moving on. Alright, next up she's going to activate her Achilles sniper rifle team. Side note, on the Lizard team, they actually took 5 damage, not 4. So they're down to 1 left. And then, so for her Achilles sniper team, she braced, and she's going to fire the rifle into my Fer-de-Lance, who does have cover. She has 3 dice with precise. I need 3s to your force.
Yes.
Alright. It's a 5/6 for me. Ouch.
Oh, wow.
And that's 6, 7, 8 with the precise. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3. Margin success of 3 damage.
Damage is 6.
So 9 damage versus armor of 7. I'll take 2 more points of damage, bring me to 3. That was a good shot. And I am, nope, not quite crippled yet. Wait, yes. Alright, moving on. And for her last activation, she activated the other Achilles team, which moved forward at top speed to the top of the hill. And then that is it for round 1. On to the next round. Alright, round 2 initiative, both needing 5s. That's a 6 for me and a 4 for her. Will give the South the initiative once again. Alright, first up we're going to activate the Fer-de-Lance again. He's going to stay right there. He's going to focus with his first action and fire with the rifle into this Scourge Warrior out in the open. So, it's 3d6, needing 3s to her force. And that's a 5/6 for me and a 6 for you. Margin success of 0. Do you have Agile?
Yes. No. Nope, I don't.
I have precises anyways, so that'll be 7, margin success of 1. Damage 7, so total 8 damage versus armor.
My armor is 6.
Alright, 2 damage on that warrior. And then we'll move on to the next one. Next up, my brawler moved up at combat speed and is going to fire the light autocannon into this Scourge out in the open. With burst 1 gives me 3d6, needing 4s, versus her 2d6, also needing 4s. And that's a 5, 6, 7 for me. She's going to spend a command point to reroll. Try again. Ooh, getting 5, 6 versus my 5, 6, 7. Margin success of 1 with damage 6. So total of 7 damage versus armor 6.
Yes.
Taking 1 point of damage. Alright, moving on. Alright, lastly for the south, I activated my Flame Jaeger, which moved forward at top speed up to the hill's edge. And I'm going to fire the APR into that Vanguard Warrior. So, minus 1d6, so just 1 needing 4s. And a 2 will miss with that 6. Alright, on to Peace River. First up for Peace River, she's going to activate her Skirmisher again. This time she's going to do a ECM attack first on my Fer-de Lance. So this will be 3d6 for her. Going off on 3s this time versus my 4s. It's a 5-6 for me and a 6-7-8 for her. So that will go off. I am jammed or haywired. And then a 4-up does a damage. No, just a haywire. Alright, and then next she's going to do a forward observation on him as well. 3 dice. Just needing that 3. And that'll do it. And then with that, she will do a fire mission with the anti-tank team. Alright, Achilles anti-tank team firing indirectly into the Fer-de Lance. She's got 3 dice versus my 2. I need 3s to your 4s.
Yes.
Ooh, it's a 6-7 for me and a 5-6 for you, which will miss. Unless you got any AP or Precise.
I got AP1.
AP1, it's still a miss.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on. Next up for Peace River, she's going to activate her Scourge Warrior, who's going to brace and fire the bazooka into my Brawler. So she'll get Burst 1 plus Brace for 46 versus my 2. Both needing 4s. That's a 4 for me and a 5, 6, 7 for you. Okay. Where's that's a 3, damage 7.
Yes.
For a total of 10 versus armor 6. That'll be 4 damage to my Jaeger, which will cripple him. Alright. On to your last activation. Lastly, for Peace River, her Vanguard Warrior moved up a little bit on the hill at combat speed and is going to fire into my Fer-de Lance again. So 2d6 for me, needing 3s. 3d6 for you, needing 4s. Ouch, that's a 3 for me. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll for 5 versus 5 as well. And Agile will dodge that attack. Alright, back to the south. Alright, first up for the south, I activated my Lizard Rider, which moved forward at combat speed and is going to fire the AVM into this Vanguard. So just 2d6 with AP1, needing 4s versus her 4s as well. And it's a 4 for me and a 6, 7 for her, will miss. Alright, next up. Next, this Lizard Rider is going to brace and fire the AVM at the Mameluke this time. So 2d6, needing 4s. And it's a 5, 6 for me versus a 4, 5 for her. Martyr success of 1 with a damage of 5. So 6 damage versus armor 6.
Armor 5.
Armor 5?
Yeah.
For a Vanguard? Oh wait, we got Mameluke.
Mameluke, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So 1 damage goes through. Alright. And then onto my field guns. Next up for this field gun, I moved it out 2 inches for its combat speed, and then I'm going to fire the field gun into this braced Scourge Warrior. I'm going to go with AP3. And then 2 dice needing 4s versus her 1 dice needing 4s as well. Ouch. And then I'm gonna spend my last command point, reroll. And that's a 6, that'll do it. With Martyr Cess of 2 with damage 9, so 11 damage versus armor 6.
Yep.
So you take 4?
Yeah.
Or is it 5? Math. We'll figure it out. Lastly, my other field gun is going to fire indirectly into this Vanguard Warrior with AoE, so it will hit these two model units as well. So just one die, needing 4s, 3 dice for her, also needing 4s. That's a 1. That'll miss with that 6 and a 5. Alright, and then next up for the Mameluke.
3 dice.
Yep, same thing. So 4 for me. And a 6 for you will miss. And then lastly, the Achilles. You'll get 46 this time.
Okay.
And that's another 1 for me. Which definitely miss. Alright, back to Peace River. First up for Peace River, she's going to activate her Achilles sniper team, her squad. It's going to brace and fire into the Fer de Lance. So 2d6 for me, needing 3s. 3d6 for her, needing 4s. With precise. That's a 5 for me. And a 5, 6, 7 for you. For Martyr Cess of 2. Damage 6. Total of 8 damage versus armor 7. So that'll do 1 damage. Just AP 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so just 1 damage.
How's he looking? Is he?
He is crippled. And then that Vanguard Scourge was destroyed with 5 damage. That I forgot to mention. So with that, we move on. Next up, this Mameluke's going to fire the light rocket pod into my crippled lizard riders. So 1d6 for me, needing 4s, 3d6 or 2d6 for her, also needing 4s. That's a 5 versus 4, 5. Martyr Cess of 0 misses with agile.
I'm gonna use it.
She's going to spend her command point to reroll. And that'll do it. 6, 7. Martyr Cess of 2. Damage.
7.
7. Yep, that'll do it. So 9 versus armor 3. Yeah. That Lizard Rider squad is wiped off the board. Alright, moving on. And lastly was this Achilles squad, which is just going to stay there. And with that, we go to round 3. Alright, start of round 3 initiative. Both needing 5s. It's a 5, 6 for me, and a 6 for you. It's a tie. Reroll. And a 5 will do it for Peace River first activation. First up for Peace River, she activated her skirmisher, which went up at top speed, and is going to do a haywire on, or an ECM attack on my Fer de Lance. So 2d6 for both of us, and then I need 4s, you need 3s. Oof, double 1s for me. I'm going to reroll for the command point. And that'll still miss with a 3. It'll be a 3 for me, 3 for you, which is a success. Alright, I am crippled or haywired, and then on a 4 I'll take damage. No damage. Alright, moving on to the skirmisher's next action. Alright, next up, for her second action, she's going to do another forward observation on the Fer de Lance. So, just needing a 3. And that 6 will do it. Alright, and then she'll react with the Achilles anti-tank team with a fire mission. Alright, guided missile from the Achilles team into the fer-de-lance. I have 1d6 because I am crippled and haywired. And then 3d6 for her. I need 3s to your force. And a 1 is not good. Ouch. So that is a 5-6. Marks us a 5 damage.
The damage is 6.
6. I'm gonna spend my last command point to try again. So 4, I'll take that. So 5, 6, marks us of 2. What was the damage?
6.
6, so 2, so 8 damage versus armor 7. I'll take 1 point of damage. Unless it has a higher AP.
Just say if you want.
Okay. And then, moving on. Next up, her Vanguard Warrior moves up at combat speed, is going to fire into the fer-de-lance as well with Burst. 1 die for me again, needing 3s to her 4s. Oh, another 1. Ouch. So that's a 6. Marks us a 5. Damage?
7.
7, that's even worse. Okay, so that's a 12 versus armor 7. So 5 damage, which will destroy that fer-de-lance, making him a wreck. Alright, moving on to your, nope, that is the last activation for you. So with that, we go back to the south. Alright, for the south, I activated my Flame Brawler, which came out from behind the building next to the objective, and is going to fire the medium flamer into the skirmisher. So 2d6 hitting on 4s, or with a target number of 4, versus her 2d6 on 3s. And that's a 3 for me. That'll definitely miss with your 6 and 5. Alright, moving on. Alright, lastly for the south, I'm going to activate my Brawler Jaeger over here, who's going to brace and fire with Burst into the skirmisher. So 3 dice needing 4s versus her 2 dice needing 3s. And that's a 4 for me and a 2 and a 1 for her. She's going to spend a command point to try again. 5, 6 will miss. Alright, back to Peace River. First up for Peace River, she's going to activate the Mameluke, which is going to brace and fire into my Lizard Riders with the Light Rocket Pile. So 3d6 versus my 2, both needing 4s. And that's a 5, 6 for me and a 4, 5, 6 for you as well. That will miss with my Agile. Alright, moving on. Alright, next up for Peace River, she moved her Achilles anti-tank squad up to the objective, getting 3 within it. And then lastly, her sniper team over here is going to brace and fire into my field gun over here. So, both needing 4s, 2d6 for me, 3d6 for her. Ouch, that was a 1. And that is 6, 7, 8, 9 with precise. So margin of success of 7. Damage?
Damage is 6.
Okay, so it's 13 versus armor 5. So that's 7 damage, which will destroy. Yep, that is destroyed outright. Field gun gone. Good shooting from the snipers. Alright, back to the south. Alright, and the only thing I have left for the south is my field gun, who moved out from behind the rocks and is gonna fire into the skirmisher with the field gun using AP 3. So 2d6 needing 4s versus her 2d6 needing 3s. And it's a 5 for me. And a 2 for you. She has 1 command point left. She's going to use it. And
and that is a 5-6, which will miss with the field gun. Alright, and with that, we go to round 4. Just kidding, I forgot about my Lizard Riders, who's going to brace and fire the AVM into the back of that Vanguard. So, 46 needing 4s versus her 2d6 needing 4s as well. Ooh, that's a good roll. So that's a 6, 7, 8, 9 for me versus your 5. So Margie says a 4 with damage 5. So total 9 damage versus armor 6. So that'll do 3 damage. Yep, 3 damage to that Vanguard. And then we go to turn 4. Alright, start of round 4. For initiative, I need 6s now since both my commanders are gone. Versus her 5s. And look at that, I got the 6, and so did she. Reroll. Another 6, and the South takes the initiative. Alright, and first up for the South, I'm going to activate my Flame Jaeger, who's going to brace and fire the medium flamer with burst 1 into that skirmisher. So this is 4d6 needing 4s versus her 2d6 needing 3s. And I rolled terribly. And that's a 4 for you versus my 2 3s is a miss. That was very unfortunate. Alright, moving on. Alright, next up, my other Jaeger, he's going to brace as well and fire with burst with the autocannon into that skirmisher. Hopefully I can take him out this time. So 3d6 needing 4s since I'm crippled. And then 2d6 for her, also needing 3s. Ooh, she's going to spin that command point to reroll. Of course you get high numbers. So I think I still got it. So I got 6, 7, 8 versus 6, 7. So Marty's test of 1. With damage of 6, so 7 damage versus armor.
5 for the skirmisher, right? We're on the skirmisher.
Yes.
Okay, then 5.
Okay. So 2 damage into that skirmisher. Not enough to take him out, unfortunately. And with that, we go to Peace River's activation. Alright, first up for the Peace River, she's activating the skirmisher. She's going to do an ECM attack on my Jaeger. So I need 6 to her 3s. 4 and a 6 will do it. So I'm haywired, and then a 4 plus does the damage. What she got it. Alright, moving on to your second action. Alright, next up for her second action, she moves in within combat range and she's gonna attack me in melee. So 1d6 for me, needing 4s versus 2d6 for her, needing 3s. And that's a 1 for me and a 5 for you. Marty, excess of 4 damage.
Damage is 7.
7 with the vibroblade.
Yep.
Okay, so 7, so it's 11 damage versus armor 6. That will do 5 damage, which will wreck that Jaeger.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, destroyed. It's only got 6 total. Alright, moving on. Lastly, for Peace River, she's going to activate her Vanguard, which moved a little closer to the objective, and is going to fire with burst into my Lizard Riders over there. So 3d6 for her, needing 4s, and 4s for me as well. 3d6. And that's 7 versus 3, so 4 damage.
Damage is 7. So 14.
The autocannon.
Or not 14.
It is. Now you done mess me up. Alright, we're going to calculate some math. Alright, with some quick math later, that is a total of 9 damage that goes through on the Lizard Riders, which completely annihilates them.
And then that just leaves the south for my field gun, which we're just going to do a Hail Mary indirect attack on the Vanguard, which will be, we're going to do AoE and blast. So I can, okay. We're not going to do the Vanguard, so because I can't see it. We're going to do the exoskeleton team. So let's see. So yeah, so this will just be 2d6 for you because you don't get covered with the blast. And then 4s. So 4 for me, and a 6 and 5 will seal the deal, completely missing. And with that, that ends the south activation, just leaving your Mamaluke, but that is unnecessary as you have complete dominance over that objective. And with that, Peace River wins the game. Thanks for watching, guys.